Good afternoon, second graders, and welcome to Read Aloud. So we've been reading Goonie the Fabulous, and for those of you who didn't see yesterday, here is the picture for chapter 5. And we made a prediction that the character had to start with the letter B because that was a bear in that picture. So we said it could be Ben, Beanie, or who was the third B person? Can you believe I can't remember? Maybe you have it in your head. Well, here's what I can tell you. Beanie went to the front of the classroom to present her fable next. First, she reached into her backpack and took out a small stuffed bear. This isn't really a costume, I guess, she said, because I'm not wearing it. But my fable's about a bear, so I brought my bear from home. I got him when I was born. His name is Teddy. That's a baby thing to have a teddy bear when you're in second grade, Barry said. Oh, that must have been our third B. The class was silent, and Beanie looked a little embarrassed. Children, Mrs. Pigeon said, and she stood up. When I was a very little girl, I had a stuffed lamb. I used to sleep with him. His name was Fleecy. And you know what? What? The class asked. I still have him. I don't sleep with him anymore, but Fleecy sits on a shelf in my bedroom, and I still love him just as much as I did all those years ago. I have a bear, Tricia said. I call mine Bear Bear. So do I, Felicia Ann whispered. I sleep with my bear. Actually, she said, I sleep with my bear because her lips. I have a doll, Kiko said, not a bear, a soft doll with a painted face, and she's so old that her face is almost worn away, but I still love her just as much. I have a bunny, Ben said, and when I was born, everybody gave me bunnies, because if you remember, there's a story that's called Benjamin Bunny. My mom said I got 8 bunnies when I was born. I only have one left, but I sleep with him every night. And when we went to visit my cousins, I forgot Bunny, and I couldn't even sleep. Tyrone stood up. Mine's a clown, he said. My Nana made it. Got me a clown, and he never makes a frown. Makes me laugh as much as a giraffe. The class began to rap along with Tyrone. Got me a clown? Oh, enough, said Mrs. Pigeon, laughing. You'll get your turn, Tyrone, when you present your fable. But for now, we want to hear Beanie's. And also, Barry? What? It isn't a baby thing at all to have a bear, or a lamb, or a doll, or a clown. I think you should apologize to Beanie. Sorry, Beanie, Barry said. That's okay, Beanie said, still holding Teddy. Beanie turned to the wrote on the board bear, just below the word kangaroo. Then she unfolded her paper and read the title of her fable. So here's Beanie holding her bear. The very small bear. Barry interrupted her. Actually, Barry admitted, I have a stuffed walrus, and his tusks are all gross because I suck on them. Mrs. Pigeon put a finger to her mouth. Shh, she said to Barry. Let's be good listeners now. So Beanie began her story. Once there was a mother bear with twin cubs. One was a big, strong bear cub and very brave, but the other was quite small and weak and frightened of things. When they went to the river so their mom could teach them to get fish, the big cub jumped right in and splashed around. He grabbed a salmon with his claws, but the little cub was afraid of the water, and he cried. It's cold, he said, and I can't swim. The big cub made fun of the little one. Sissy, the bigger cub said, and grabbed another fish for himself. When their mom took them to the orchard, where sometimes she stole apples from the farmer's tree, the big cub jumped right up into a tree and grabbed apples and ate them with a gulp. But the little cub, he only peeked out from his hiding place behind the corner of the barn. What if the farmer sees us? He said. What if the farmer has a gun and shoots us? It made him just sit and shake with fear just to think about it. "Scaredy cat," his big cub brother, said to him, and then he just stuffed another apple in his mouth. The mother bear took them over to the dead tree that she knew where they could get honey from a hive inside the trunk. "Yay!" said the big cub. "Hooray!" And he climbed up on the trunk of the tree. He reached inside and he brought out his paw coated with sticky, delicious honey. The bees buzzed around angrily, but he didn't care. The little bear hid in the bushes and watched. He was very scared of bees. "What if I sting my nose?" he said. So the big cub, he got bigger and bigger and healthier, but the little cub was always skinny and scared. Beanie looked up. "That's the end," she said, "but it doesn't have a suddenly, and I think it doesn't have a moral either." Goonie Bird took the paper from Beanie and looked at it carefully. "You know what?" she said. "I don't think that has to be the end." "It doesn't?" Beanie said. "Well, I just think you stopped writing too soon," Goonie Bird pointed out. "What if after this last sentence, you add the word suddenly? So after where you said, the little cub was always skinny and scared, you add suddenly." "Yeah, but then what can I write after that?" Beanie asked. Class, let's help her out." Goonie Bird turned to the second graders who were all listening. "Do you have an idea?" Malcolm shouted, "Suddenly the big cub was killed by a lion and the little one got to eat all his food. The big lion comes and kills him. See? How about if a lion..." "Oh no!" Kiko wailed. "How about a different idea?" Goonie Bird asked. "I have one," Felicia Ann said timidly. "Remember to start it with a suddenly," Goonie Bird reminded her. Felicia Ann nodded. "Suddenly," she said, "the big cub got stuck in a bear trap. He was too fat to get out." "And then what?" said Goonie. "Well, his little brother came along and was able to reach in and help him because he was skinny. He unlocked the trap and let his brother out." "Yes!" called Tyrone, and then he rapped. "Caught in a trap 'cause you acted like a sap, and along came your bro and he helped let you go." "Tyrone," Mrs. Pigeon said with a meaningful look. "Sorry," Tyrone said. "Well," Goonie Bird asked, "what do you think of Felicia Ann's suggestion?" Beanie nodded happily. "I like it, and now it has a moral," she said. "What's the moral?" "Be nice to your brother," Malcolm called out. "Always share with your brother. Your brother is..." Mrs. Pigeon put her hand firmly on Malcolm's shoulder and said, "Let Beanie answer." "Well," Beanie said slowly, everybody has things they can do. You don't always have to be big or brave. The important thing is to be helpful." "Sounds great to me," Goonie Bird said. "Class, what do you think?" "Sounds good," the class said. "The bear didn't die in the trap, did he?" Kiko asked fearfully. "No," Beanie said. "He came out of the trap and he went and got some fish and other food for his brother to say thank you." The end. Beanie added. What do you think of the moral of that one? You don't have to be big or brave. The important thing is to be helpful. Sound like a good lesson for how to behave? I think so. So here's chapter 6, and here's the picture. Who do you think is going to be telling their fable next? Do you recognize what kind of animal that is? Oops, if you were looking, you might have seen the person's name. I'll see you tomorrow. We'll keep reading. Have a great afternoon.